The king's back. 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 The king's back.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith, and this is my Monday. No, I'm sorry, this is Monday. Oh my goodness, hold up. This is my Thursday vlog where I come on and talk about whatever the funk I want to talk about. It is December the 4th. I did not have a live stream yesterday morning, but I am live today. Looking at this big, beautiful face on the screen, talking about one aspect of the big, beautiful bill that got released yesterday, very publicly, and the people are talking about it. And I'm curious about it myself, so I haven't really looked at any of the details. We're going to do it live.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
So what am I talking about, you say? If you have not looked or you did not hear the news, there is the development of the Trump account, which is designed to open up an investment vehicle for all children. Like I said, I don't know the full details yet, so I'm going to be looking at it as we do this. That is going to put money into an account that is going to invest in the stock market, or the S&P 500 is the way that I understood it briefly. And that over time, at the expected rate of growth, by the time that people that get these accounts created turn 18 or older, they'll have access to the account and a little bit of money in their pocket. So let's take a look at the comment section, and then I'm going to give my ZEP bound update, or my ZEP date, as it's Darium helped me coin it, and then we're going to get into the Trump account. So let's see who we got in the building. Shout out to Pete. Pete said, good morning, brother. Good morning, Pete. Hope you had a good birthday the other day, my man, and good to hear from you. Said, big face, yes. Beautiful, absolutely not. This face is beautiful, baby. You just ain't ready to admit it just yet. But hey, Pete, I appreciate you tuning in. I saw your live stream last night, or I was listening to it as I was laying down. That's why I did not comment, but I'm going to check it out today while I work. Let's see. You were sick the whole week. Dude, that sucks, man. That sucks. I thought I was coming down with something to start the week as well, but alas, your boy's fine. But that sucks, man. Sucks to, end the year, start your birthday out being sick. Let me give my Zipbound update and let's go into it. So I stepped on the scale this morning and the scale said 267. Now, my starting weight when I started Zipbound was 288. So to see that 267 put a smile on my face. And that 21-pound weight loss has been primarily due to just the change in my eating. It hasn't really came from exercise. Now, some of the impacts that I have from this is that I had to get rid of some clothes. I have some clothes that just simply could not fit from losing 20 pounds. And last week, or was it this week? I can't remember because the days are blending in. I ended up getting rid of some clothes and I struggled to get rid of them. Why did I struggle? A couple of things. I didn't have any attachment to this stuff. So it wasn't like, oh, I was attached, like I really like this or anything like that. No, I have a pretty simple wardrobe. It's a lot of shorts because I like being comfortable. I'm not like a stylish person. I have a whole drawer full of black t-shirts, and I'm typically a black t-shirt wearing guy or something that's got something on it. But I had a hard time giving up some of these clothes because I'm like, what if something happens and the weight comes back? Then I'd have to buy all new clothes again, which I'm likely about to start having to buy some wardrobe changes and stuff now as I'm losing the weight and getting smaller. I'm not doing it all at once, but as I need things, I will go out and buy things. So my Zep date for now is that I'm down 21 pounds. My shot date is today. It is on Thursdays. I moved it from Tuesdays to Thursdays. If you've been watching me give these updates, why is the update not staying on that long? Let me do that again. It done changed some stuff here on StreamYard. All right, there it is. My shot date's today. As soon as I get done with this live stream and before I get to work, I'm going to take my shot. I'm currently on the 7.5 milligrams. I take it in the stomach, and this is my second shot at the 7.5. I have not had any adverse effects. And that's been great. I think I had 1 week where I was feeling a little bit funny, where it seemed like I might have had some gastro issues or some stomach issues, and that maybe lasted a day. But besides that, 21 pounds down. This is week. I should do a better job at keeping up with the weeks. I've got an app. I think it's week 15. Let's see. I did 4, 4, 4. So that's 12, 13, 14. This is week 14. Currently on week 14. So 21 pounds down on the 7.5, primarily due to just eating a lot less calories. Who we got in the building? We got God Happened to Me's in the building. Said, good morning, team. Good morning, baby. I appreciate you tuning in. 6'7". Let's do it like this. Boom, boom, boom. 6'7". Pete said, weight loss is 85% diet and 15% workout. That is true. That is true. Now, I have to make people aware, right, that you should definitely consult your healthcare people before you really start doing anything, right? Now, for me, I have cardiac disease. I have what's called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I have a defibrillator implanted right here. I'm like a regular old Iron Man, if you will. So I have to be careful about what it is that I do. But I am doing the things to try to ensure that I live a long, healthy life. And that is why I am on Zepbound. I am on Zepbound to lose the weight so that I can reduce my body fat percentage and all of the things that I can do to improve my health markers to try and live a good, long, healthy life. That is what I am trying to do. Let's see. God Happened to Me said that if my health did cause me to gain the weight back, that I'd have to rebuy. You know, again, it was one of those things. Initially thinking about it, I was like, "Ooh, I should probably just store them." But then I said, "Nah, get rid of it. Get rid of it." And I spoke to somebody the other day that had almost 100-pound weight loss, and that person explained that it wasn't that hard for them to do it, but that was an interesting conversation, and I was glad that that person shared with me their updates and how things have been going for them. And then God Happened to Me said, "You moved my shot day without conferring with your producer." Oops. Sometimes things be that way. All right, so that is my Zep date update on my journey, if you will, on Zepbound. Now, let's get into this. I'm going to display up on the screen here the announcement that came yesterday in which the president, along with some senators, made an update and an announcement to the Trump accounts. Let's take a look at this and see if we can understand what this decision is and how it affects the everyday person.
Starting on July 4th, every child in America will have a personal investment account opened for them. Newborn children will have it seeded with $1,000. Parents and family and employers can contribute up to $5,000 a year in a tax-advantaged account. That money will be invested in the S&P 500 in the stock market, broad-based equity index account. Two massive benefits that change this country. Number one, every child in America will experience the benefits of compound growth. Take a little girl born next year. She's born next year. She has the account opened for her. $1,000 is automatically seeded. Her parents or family or an employer puts $5,000 a year each year into that account. If you assume the historic rate of growth of the S&P 500, which is 7% a year, by the time that little girl is 18, she will have $170,000 in that account. And if she keeps saving, by the time that little girl is 35, she will have $700,000 in that account. That is game changing. And we're not talking the children of Michael and Susan Dell, the children of Donald Trump, the children of people of great success. We're talking the kids of a single mom waiting tables who could have $700,000 saved by the time she's 35 to get an education, to start a business, to buy a house. That changes their whole lives. But the second benefit, and what I'm really excited about, is we are creating a new generation of capitalists. Every child in America is going to be an owner of the biggest employers in this country. We've all seen the sad statistics of how many kids are losing faith in capitalism. Well, 10 years from now, a little boy is going to pull out his phone and he's going to look at his app and he's going to see his Trump account. And instead of thinking of big, bad, scary corporations, that little boy is going to say, I own $50 of Apple. I own $100 of Dell. I own $75 of McDonald's. And every child is an owner of the biggest employers in this country. That will transform this country. Mr. President, thank you for signing it.
Man. All right. So let's talk about it here. Let's talk about it. This Trump account, it's a new kind of tax advantage investment account for children under the age of 18. It was part of the legislation that came with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act that was passed this year. And the idea behind it, and I like the idea of it, is to give every eligible child a financial head start with funds that are invested in a stock market index fund. Okay? Which index funds are how do I describe this? You know what? I'm not going to get into how would I describe it now, but to be eligible for it, right? You have to be a child under 18 with a social security number. Now, you heard about the $1,000. So, children that are born between January 1st of this year and December 31st of 2028 are going to automatically qualify for a one-time $1,000 deposit from the federal government. Now, if you were born outside of those date range, a Trump account can still be open, but you won't get the $1,000 seed money from the government. What also came into development yesterday were the Dell family, like the computer Dell. They decided to invest around $6.2 billion, I believe, to help seed some of the accounts of people. But the eligibility for that, you have to meet certain restrictions. Now, the restrictions on that I thought were kind of interesting. If you are a high earning family, you don't qualify for the seed money that's going to come from the Dells. But the Dell family were essentially going to contribute $250 per person up to this $6.25 billion for help seeding some of these accounts. Now, you heard the claim that if you were to have this $1,000 Trump account open and you assumed I think he said somewhere over 7% growth of the account, that by the time you were 18, you could be close to $500,000. It's one of those things that, yes, if you were to assume those things and you were to assume an additional $5,000 added to that account a year, it could get there. How many people are actually doing that? Raise your hand if you had an investment account under the age of 18. Raise your hand if you had an investment account between the ages of 18 and 25. Raise your hand if you had an investment account over the age of 25. That's when I first really started investing. And it was getting around individuals and people because I was in the Air Force, coming into the Air Force young. I was in with a lot of aviators, right? Older, senior enlisted and commissioned individuals, that the ones that were successful, people that I saw that were financially wealthy, they were the ones that were investing. And some of them didn't start until after they graduated high school either, right? So it's when do you start? You always hear something that says time in the market beats timing the market. And I love that because you can start building an investment portfolio. And as long as you're contributing something, right? Assuming that nothing catastrophic happens and just pulls the rug from up under you, it will build in value over time. But you have to start thinking like that in order to set the next generation up, or the people that you care behind you, up for success, or yourself. You could turn 18, 19, open up your own brokerage account. And by the time you're my age, which is 40, 41, you've got a nice little nest egg if you were just able to contribute money into this account while also managing your other expenses like a mortgage or a rent, your bills, everything like that. I don't think that it's a bad idea. I don't think that it's a bad idea. If you were to take that initial $1,000 deposit and assume a modest contribution, let's say things are tight and you can only ever max out of $500 a year. Over that 18 years, if you were to assume a 7% return, that would be just over $20,000. That's decent money to start out life with, considering I can tell you exactly how much I started with. When I graduated high school, I did not have an investment account. I barely had a checking account. And the only reason why I got that checking account was because I needed it to enlist in the military. And that account had less than $500 in it just to get me started. Who do I blame for that? Do I blame my parents because they did not help set me up? Could they afford to? My daughter is in college right now, and she's a freshman. And I won't put her business out there, but let's just say with this kind of thinking in mind, she did start out with a little bit of a leg up. Why? Because it was important for me and her mother to ensure that she did, right? So while I only started with $50 into a checking account, she was able to, I'm not, again, not to put a business out there, but she was able to start out with a significant more of a leg up than I did. She also has an investment account. As we link up together over the holidays, I spent time telling her about investing and also having her pull out her smartphone, go to her brokerage account and invest in something. I told her that, hey, do you drink Coca-Colas or any of the Coca-Cola products? Do you own any stock in Coca-Cola? If not, go buy a share. And then every time you get some type of income, invest in a share of Coca-Cola. That is, I'm not financial advice. That is what I had her do. Companies that have been around forever, like Johnson & Johnson, right? She could have invested in something that goes more into a index fund, which is what I am going to have her do to kind of diversify her holdings. All right. I don't think that this is a bad idea. It is interesting that our president has to have his name on everything, right? You've got the Trump account. You're also going to have like the Trump prescription, Trump RX. Let me see if that's up now. TrumpRx.gov. Let me see if that's up. Trump RX. Is that live yet? I know we had talked about that on our live stream. TrumpRx.gov is not live just yet. It looks like it's going to go live starting January 2026. Let me shut the tab so y'all can see what I'm talking about here. TrumpRx.gov. If you didn't know that that was a thing, that's a thing. He's putting his name out there on a lot of different stuff to help cement his legacy. Not a bad thing to do. Not a bad thing to do. But are y'all here for this? Are y'all here for this Trump account? Let me go check the comments and see what I've got here. We've got happened to me said, did you see the video with Hexef from 2016? No, I did not. Let me go take a look at that here real quick. How much time do I have? I have a couple of minutes. Now, there was a question that says, what's an eligible child? So an eligible child, from what I understand, and again, the program is still early, but you have to be a person with a social security number. So that's the eligible child to be able to qualify for this. Now, actually, there's some other stuff that I need to cover. You're able to max out at its current, the way that it's currently spelled, up to $5,000 per year per child. Employers are allowed to contribute up to $2,500 per year, and any of those employer contributions count towards that $5,000 total limit. And it grows into a tax deferred account, meaning that you don't pay taxes on the investment gains while they accrue. Now, the program officially launches July 4th of 2026. That is hilarious Independence Day of 2026. And until then, you can't make any contributions. Once the child turns 18, the account becomes similar to that of a traditional retirement account, meaning funds and any growth can be withdrawn under certain conditions. As of right now, those permitted conditions are uses for higher education, buying a home, and starting a business or other major life expenses. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to be ironed out. But it's not going to be for your everyday spending. But that's still not bad to be able to take this money and pull it out for a house, pull it out for a down payment on a house. That is fantastic. All right. You can look at it as like a hybrid between a traditional retirement account and like a college savings 5 to 9 plan, but it offers more flexibility. Again, I don't think that this is a bad idea, but I want to see something here. If you do max it out, let's say, because $5,000 annually putting to that, if your employer is able to contribute, and let's say you can go, let's do a little bit more conservative. Let's take about 3,000 of that. If I max out at 3,000, no, if I contribute, not max out, if I contribute 3,000 annually and assume, let's do a 7.5% annual return. How much could it be at, let's go 25. You graduate college around 22. Let's say 24. This is a little bit better of a way to kind of plan it out to see how much it could be. And Google is over here thinking. If you were to contribute $3,000 a year at a 7.5% annual return by 24, the account could be around $186,000. Actually, hold on. That is wrong. Let's see. With the initial 1,000, and again, that initial seed money of $1,000 is only going to be for people that were born between January 1st of this year and December of 2028. So if you add that initial seed money, it jumps up to about an additional $5,600 more to make it about $192,000. That's good money to put down on a house. Good money. Shout out to Proto. Proto's in the building, said good morning. Good morning, and God happened to me. Hey, thank you for tuning in while you could. You said have a good day. I did not see the Hexeth video, but I am going to check that out here. Is this link clickable? It is linked. Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. All right, so let me finish up here. How much time do I have? Wow. The other day, I talked about how Mark Kelly was telling people and telling troops not to follow unlawful orders, right? And it was more of he was just reminding people that they shouldn't follow unlawful orders. Where there's a 2016 in which our current Secretary of War, Secretary Hexeth, came out and said that U.S. troops won't follow unlawful orders from the then president. Let me see if I can share this to myself. Shout out to my associate producer for sending this to me, and go find that video. And we're gonna end with that. But as I do this, what do y'all think about the Trump account? Do y'all think that it's a good idea or not? I actually think that it's a good idea. I can see where people will say that they smell fraud, and there's the ability to get fraud in anything. What's going to be curious for me is like how some of the major companies that are in the S&P 500, like would Facebook have any interest in helping invest into something like that as well? I don't know. Let's see. All right, 2016, Hexeth. video unlawful orders. I gotta see if I can find this. I couldn't bring up the link in the video that was sent to me, but I think I found a source. Let me see if this source works. All right, yep. So this source works. So I'm going to share this screen and I'm going to bring this up here. Proto said, I think that it would be better to raise wages so that people could make their own investments. Proto, I don't think people are smart enough to do it. I don't think that people are smart enough to make their own investments so that the greater good of people can make it work for them. They would blow it on Dodge Chargers and stupid shit. That's just my thought. Let's play this video from 2016 in which Hegseth himself talked about troops won't follow unlawful orders. Let's see what he had to say.
Have to be consequences for abject war crimes. If you're doing something that is just completely unlawful and ruthless, then there is a consequence for that. That's why the military said it won't follow unlawful orders from their commander-in-chief. There's a standard, there's an ethos, there's a belief that we are above what so many things that our enemies or others would do.
Andrew, I know you reached out to the White House, you reached out to the Defense Department, or as they now call themselves, the Department of War, about this video. What did they tell you?
Yeah, Aaron, we did reach out to both the White House and the Pentagon about this newly surfaced video that we found. Now, Kinsley Wilson, that's a Pentagon spokesperson, told us that Hegseth has been clear and made clear there are already procedures for unlawful orders, telling CNN, quote, the orders being given to our military under President Trump are full, and the despicable video of the seditious six urging our troops to defy their chain of command was a politically motivated influence operation by elected officials aimed at sowing distrust.
The seditious six did not urge troops to defy their chain of command. Saying that it was a politically motivated influence operation is a straight up lie.
And chaos in our armed forces. We also reached out to the White House, Aaron, and in a lengthy statement to CNN, Anna Kelly, that's a White House spokesperson, said that Hegseth has been entirely consistent in his position then, and added that Democrats are trying to deliberately manufacture doubt where none exists. They told us, quote, these lawmakers sow doubt in a clear chain of command, which is reckless, dangerous, and deeply irresponsible for an elected official. It's asinine that CNN cares more about the secretary's uncontroversial remarks than those of elected officials who are putting military service members in harm's way by telling them to disobey their commander-in-chief.
That is not what they said. They did not say disobey your commander-in-chief. That is not what they said. Good grief. I don't see how you can take things and completely try to flip the narrative. I don't understand that. Maybe they think that people are too stupid enough that they'll buy into it. Proto, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think you can raise wages, because I think people are stupid. And I'm saying people in general are just dumb. They're just dumb. Let's just call it for what it is. People are dumb. Oh, man. Proto said, I see your point. There's a cycle of consumerism and debt in this country. Knowing that they're getting thousands of dollars from this account could do the same thing, run up a bunch of credit card debt, etc. Yep, because even if you treat it like something that would have penalties, like, are you going to have to submit proof that you're using it for a house? Otherwise, it gets heavily taxed. Things like that. I know that people during the shutdown, if you were a government employee, you have this, I think it's a pretty amazing thing or benefit called the Thrift Savings Plan. And you are automatically started one as a government employee. Now, if you're smart, you will contribute and select a plan that better benefits you, to where over time, 10 years, 15 years, that account can grow and look pretty damn good. You start out in what's called the G fund, which is where it automatically invests in bonds, and you want to change that quickly because the growth that you would have had if you would have had it in any of the other funds. They have life cycle funds, and they have, let's see, a C fund, an S fund, an I fund, a G fund, and I think there was a fifth, but that's not important. If you got out of the G and you maxed out your employer contributions and you just automatically did it, you are in a way better position than somebody that kept theirs in the G fund and didn't change it. And there were some people during the government shutdown that, because money was tight, they had to borrow against that thrift savings plan for emergencies. You could either do a loan against it, which was a little bit better. The interest rate wasn't that bad from what I've heard. Or you could do what was called a hardship withdrawal, where you had to show a need of having, how was it explained to me? That you had like a negative income or whatever because of your lack of income. Like you had more expenses coming out than money coming in. So it was there for that. But I can't just I want to go get $10,000 out of my TSP so that I could go ball out. I can't do that. Proto said, no classes in high school on personal finance and debt at all. We need that big time. Yes. Now, God Happened to Me is a business educator for high school. And I know that she goes a little bit into some of that kind of stuff. Like they do the stock market challenge in high school. We didn't do that growing up. But in her school, she does. Some schools are getting more into that. There's curriculum designed around home economics, and home economics don't just mean can you keep a tidy home or whatnot. It is, can you make sure the bills are paid? What income are you bringing in to ensure that you have a roof over your head and food on the table to eat and enough resources to be able to get to work? I think schools are doing a little bit better job in doing that, but that's in your better developed counties. If you're in some of these other counties like Baltimore County, and I'm just going to pick on Baltimore because they're right down the road from me, and I've been into some of these schools, these kids aren't getting that. They're not getting that. They're getting lessons from the street. They're watching their mom work 3 or 4 jobs just to try to make ends meet. They're seeing hustlers doing what they got to do just to survive. Some are making it out. Some are doing well. I listened to Governor Wes Moore share his story on the Pivot podcast. I would love to meet Governor Wes Moore in person. Rhodes Scholar. Didn't necessarily come from the best environment, but he also didn't have a silver spoon handed to him either, right? He made the best of the situation that was given to him. Now he's the governor of the state of Maryland. Army officer, had an interesting life. Diversify your bond. I wish I could play that clip without getting copyright stricken. Things like that. How to read payday loan fine print. Stuff like that can get you hemmed up. I remember taking out a loan one time and I didn't read the fine print, but I needed the money. And this is when I was a lot younger. I needed that $5,000, right? And my credit wasn't so great, so I couldn't just go to the bank and get this $5,000 loan. I think I ended up on this $5,000 loan having like a 20-something% interest rate. But the way that the loan was structured, if I made the minimum payments on it, I was going to end up paying like $14,000 total on the $5,000 loan. And I didn't necessarily think that through to go, is it worth paying almost $2 or what's that? 2.3, 2.4 times more than what I was borrowing just to have access to this money. But that payday loan got me. It got me, right? Because I didn't fully think that through. I didn't understand that. And I laugh about it now because I'm like, there's no way in HE double hockey stick would I do something like that again. No way I would do something like that again. But I had to learn. I had to really understand the true value of money. So to conclude and close out, that's why I believe that the Trump account, it's not a bad idea. It is not a bad idea at all. I think that it's a great idea. People are going to have their issues about it politically because of the name, but it's not a bad idea. I think that it's a win. Call this a W in my book. Time will truly tell if it is, though. All right. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Wake Up with the Actual King Smith. Today, I said December the 3rd. It is not the 3rd. It is the 4th. I'm going to have to change that title. Y'all have a great rest of your day. To Proto, God Happen to Me, Pete, everybody that tuned in this morning, I want to give y'all a salute and a thank you. And you will see me tomorrow on Wake Up with the Actual King Smith. Have a good one. Peace.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Trumpets bled the golden call. A throne awaits, I rise so tall. Drums like thunder, shake the hall. Royal robe, I wear the weight. Diamonds cut the night, no debate. Heavy is the head, but I'm feeling great. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. Bring